Hey everybody, what's good? Welcome to Mise Watch. We have here round one of Lobster Con, the North American Premodern Championship. My name is David Daniel. I'm joined here by Team J-Bro.
Hey, lobster caught in the house. Let's go.
All right. Thanks to the Premodcast and Andrew for putting this together. Let's take a look at our matchup we have today. It looks like Battle of Wits.
Hell yeah.
Nightmare of a deck to shuffle, I'm sure, but it looks like it'll be taking on a red green goblin deck. And let's take a look at this Battle of Wits deck. It looks like a pile of combos.
There's so much going on here. It is hard to even make sense of it because there's so many different, not only so many different cards, but so many different things within those cards going on at one point. But my oh my, lots of tutors and lots of goodies to tutor for. Lots of combos and lots of synergies, such as you can Gilded Drake and then bounce it back to your hand with Mana War and Gilded Drake again, or you can Tainted Pack for probably whatever you want. There's also Tinker combo and the what's that? The Alliances artifact. That's the combo.
Oh, Devourer. Yeah.
Yeah, there's also Devour going on and Trade Rider, just in case, and a lot of funky one-ofs like Uktabi Orangutan. So yeah, because you've got tutors. So a lot of good 187 stuffs. You've got the just a myriad of awesome tutors like Natural Order and Survival of the Fittest.
I don't even notice the natural order. Where? Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay.
Natural Order next. Can you say what's next to Natural Order? The enchantment?
Yeah, it's a Pattern of Rebirth.
And pretty good with Natural Order when you think about it.
And, right next to that, Insidious Dreams, which is near and dear to my heart. Got Draco being lonely up there. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I am optimistic about the synergies and the play of this deck, and it looks like he's got some ways to fend off aggro. I see some warships and some ravenous Baloths, but red green goblins is kind of a machine, and it likes to eat inconsistent decks apart. So let's take a look at that list real quick.
Sure.
And this is McLaughlin, and yeah, this is just good old fashioned goblin lackey into monsters.
Yeah, it's again, as you said, very consistent, powerful deck. Goblins is, and this is one of the quote unquote red green versions. It's running naturalized in the sideboard, but Goblins is just a really good deck in this format because it's not exactly just a straight burn, sly sort of, because you've got Goblin Matron, which is basically kind of like your demonic tutor, right?
Yeah.
You've got the what's the goblin that gets other goblins, the 2/2 with haste.
Ringleader, yeah.
You got Ringleader, which is your ancestral recall. You've got Lackey, which is kind of like your Lotus. Like, you've got so much stuff that does so much stuff and so much synergies and so much powerful stuff. And all your incremental threats are extremely relevant throughout the whole game. Now, there are some versions that can't see exactly, but this one doesn't look like it has as many lords as some of the other versions we've seen, right?
Yeah, I think what this one is aiming to do, there's basically two different versions of this deck. There's an Ancient Tomb version and a Wasteland version, and it looks like Mike's going for a bit more disruption, just try to land a lackey, Wasteland you, put you behind a turn, and win with his Power 9 staple to 1/1s and 2/2s.
Hmm. And also, can we talk about the charm a little bit?
Um, I'm not going to lie. I have to look that card up.
we
Hearth,
have Mhm. We have Hearth Charm, which is a Vision staple. This was back when I was really getting into it, and I think it's a very pre-modern card. It's a modal card, as all the charms are. First is destroy target artifact creature, which
oh
is of
boy.
course extremely relevant in this format, given um, how many artifact creatures are part of the combo decks. The second mode is all attacking creatures get +1/+0 until end of turn. Also, again, just can this deck can push through so much damage, quietly, even though you think it's exhausted its resources. Late game, a card like that could be worth quite a bit. And then It also has target creature with power 2 or less is unblockable, which again, as you said with Goblin Lackey, is quite relevant. So it's got
Also,
2 of
pile
those,
driver. I
and Pile
mean,
Driver
that's
can bang, bang, bang in the chicken wing.
yeah,
Can get
that's
in for a bunch there.
a
So
lot of synergies.
that's right. It's kind of an odd looking card and something a lot of people might have to look up, but it actually is wonderful in a deck like this. And only running 2 of them is interesting because you don't want to like get like 2 in your opening hand maybe, but top decking it late game is just wonderful, as well as being able to again disrupt combos with it because there are so many relevant artifact creatures.
Yeah, I know one of the decks that preys on this matchup is the the Dreadnought list, and just
Hmm.
having 2 main board answers to a Dreadnought that you may or may not have, give yourself a little bit of percentage points in that matchup as opposed to just having 0. You play a Lackey and they went first, or they even went second and go land Lotus Petal Dreadnought because there's nothing most of the Goblin decks can do.
That's right.
That's pretty good to have. I am concerned about the amount of just hate in the sideboard of this deck randomly for Battle of Wits. I mean, 4 naturalize, 3 Reb effects, 2 crypts. Like, I don't know. You probably don't bring the crypts in, but you could, like recurring nightmares in the list. Just so many bad things for the Battle of Wits deck.
Now, you said 3 Reb effects. Now we have 2 Power Blast and 1 Red Elemental Blast. Can you elaborate as to the split? Why 2-1?
Mostly, I think for Meddling Mage, the mono. It's not mono white. It's like it's white weenie, and they just play Meddling Mage because it's basically free and it's very good in this format. I think it's kind of a concession to that. I feel like that's a common name in this matchup in game 2 because the only other card you really care about is probably Lackey, and Meddling Mage often too late for that.
Absolutely. And it's yeah, okay. Let's move ahead. We've got a very consistent, very powerful deck and a very inconsistent, interesting, also powerful deck with like 10 different powerful decks shoved in together
Yes,
to one deck.
should be a good time.
Yes.
All right, let's take a look at game 1 and see what we got going. All right, here we are with Battle of Wits versus Red Green Goblins, round 1. And looks like they're going to get started with game 1. I am curious to see how Ryan shuffles this monstrosity.
That is the game within the game with the Battle of Wits deck. You have first of all, you gotta account for the extra time in the match, just the shuffling and all that stuff, and then you need a lot of hand stamina in order to get through all those cards. It's usually, many times over, many multiples of what a normal tournament would be, because it's round after round. And also, what sleeves? Do you double sleeve? Because even double sleeving with 190 extra cards also, that's a factor. Weight, might be a little worse on your back when you get to BRH. Let's see what else.
Oh, but I don't think Ryan's that old.
I mean for people of different generation.
That's fair. I don't think I would not double sleeve this deck. I would just be very careful, not regardless of how pricey. Obviously, the deck is very expensive. Got a lot of. I think I saw Mox Diamonds, Survivals, Nightmares, but I would take my chances because that looks. One of the caveats to tournament Magic is you have to be able to shuffle your deck without assistance. So, double sleeving seems poor.
Let's also acknowledge Mike's dope playmat. They both have pretty cool playmats because the other one is from that awesome cartoon. But I really like Mike's playmat quite a bit.
Yeah, I think that was from an event.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't remember which. I could be wrong, but it looks like some kind of old school. I don't think any of those cards are not legal in old school, so it makes me think.
Sarah Angel hanging out by the Chaos Orb. Oh man, that's how life was back then.
That happens a lot nowadays too.
Yeah, that was the old Stasis deck before these pre-modern times. All the old Sarah Angel Stasis.
Every
Man.
time I play Premodern and my opponent plays a Forsaken City, my eyes roll into the back of my head with the force of 1,000 suns.
That's
I
right.
dislike that deck so much. It looks like we're about ready to get started.
Okay.
If Ryan mulligans, I might go get lunch or something.
Let's hope it's not a
Sure.
windy day, because that stack does not look stable.
No, it doesn't.
Worst Magic Jenga ever. All right, got the dice roll. Now, how do you like the two? You just like, there's a lot of different ways to roll the dice.
Oh no, I do odd even, and if they don't agree with it, I have a moral obligation to explain to them why high roll is terrible, and they argue with me anyway. So
Well, first of all, odd even, you're not. There's no. It's one and done.
yeah, that's what I tell them. And
Yeah.
I've had somebody tell me that dice are impartial, and I had no counter argument. I was like,
Well,
yep.
well, by the same logic, so is odd even, right?
You know, I mean, that's what he said. Odd even was impartial, like it favored me in some mystical way. I'm not sure. It was interesting.
Well, it sounds like if he's that worried about your mind games, you've already won the match. If they are that worried about your mind games, you already won the match.
Where I'm gonna tell that to people from now on. Let's see. All right, Ryan.
Okay, show us what you got. This hand could be pretty much anything. Like with a Battle Wits deck, it's, you could get a Draco next to Findlehorn Elves, hanging out with an Elvish Spirit Guide and an Enlightened Tutor or something.
Yeah.
Oh my! Not only do we get a forest start, but we're starting with the Birds of Paradise, Hachi Machi.
That is super lucky, and the Goblin player without a lackey and just a turn 2 1/2, which I mean, followed by a War Chief could be pretty powerful. But this is pretty good for Ryan.
I got the Reflecting Pool. Is that a survival?
That is a survival. Okay. I might have been wrong about this whole match.
Machi. Well, that's quite a start for turn 1 birds. Turn 2 survival. We might see a turn 3 Draco against Goblins. But again, there's the Hearth Charm. So, as you called it, just like exactly as you predicted.
Yeah, that's some damage. But I see a Ravenous Baloth in Mike's future. Well, no, he did not. Oh, there he goes. Okay.
Yeah.
He was trying to untap, but
the old
Mana War. Oh, got a card.
So Mana War going to the graveyard. Remember, there are, count them, not 1, not 2, but 4 survival fittest in this deck. So statistically, it's possible he has a survival with that Mana War in the graveyard. But yeah,
this is like an excellent hand for like Flamingo's Breakfast, and he's just doing it with 300 and something cards, and no big deal.
Oh man!
And I have to imagine he gets Baloth here. I don't know. I feel like I'd get Baloth.
Well, this is and also he's thinning his deck, so there's that. But this is a pretty bad start. Like, that's the thing about Goblins, is that there's a lot of quote unquote ideal starts, right? It could be a turn 1 lackey, it could be a wasteland, it could, there's a lot of things it can do. And having all your critters get haste with a pile driver on the table is like, Mike is already so much in the driver's seat at this point, and Ryan's got to play defense. On the other hand, Ryan's deck also not only has a lot of capacity to just win out of nowhere, but he's got survival on the table.
Do we have a way to kill this War Chief? Palinchron. He's got a shapeshifter. He has to have a shapeshifter. Okay. So, yeah, he's gonna ditch that or go get a shapeshifter, and then we might see some craziness. He might win. He might win this turn.
Well, how? Okay, explain the win this turn. Oh, because he's gonna play. He's 1 more land.
Yeah.
Upkeep, fit in the deck.
Okay.
Fit in the deck. Getting every statistical advantage.
Okay. Yep. Like there's his shapeshifter.
Okay, so explain. Let's hear what's going on here. So
so if you get the shapeshifter, maybe not this turn, but he can play the shapeshifter, untap his lands, discard discard a land creature to go get an Acroma, put the Acroma in the yard. Does he play all these cards? Hold on, I gotta make sure he plays all these cards. Jeez, before I start spouting nonsense.
And again,
This-
shapeshifter basically copies the top. That shapeshifter copies the top card in your graveyard.
He does have the Devourer Triskelion combo. So you put Devourer in the graveyard, exile a bunch of cards from your deck, go get Triskelion, put it in the graveyard, and then just shoot your opponent for
with all the counters. Yeah.
But I guess we'll see what's happening here.
Okay, City of Brass, taking 1.
It's floating some mana. Because
So,
yep, okay, there we go.
Shapeshifter on taps because it's a 4/5 flyer.
This might be it.
Then we'll discard another creature.
There's a Wall of Blossoms.
Okay, Wall of Blossoms, good as any. He's got 2 mana up.
Yeah.
And it costs 1 mana to activate Shapeshifter's ability, right?
It costs 2 mana, but he doesn't need to. It always copies the top card. So I think what we're going to see here is him getting a Devourer, discarding it, exiling a bunch of cards from the top of his deck, getting Triskelion, and shooting his opponent for a billion.
Well, this is quite a start for a deck of this size.
Yep, there's Phyrexian. Here we go. Yep, discarding.
That is
Devourer.
Where I come from. That's what we call bang, bang, bang the chicken wing.
Yeah, this is the wrong deck. We're playing the wrong deck here. This is not Battle of Wits. I was lied to. There's the Triskelion.
All right.
Casually kills him on turn 3. Okay.
That's
excellent. Pick up your mountains. Pick up your goblins. We're going to get okay. Yeah. No.
Well,
I was pretty sure the goblin deck was gonna get there. But...
All right, and we are back doing our sideboard after a pretty impressive display from the Battle of Wits deck. Now let's take a peek. What are we looking to sideboard here? Remembering that this deck is running 4 Cunning Wishes, which does play with the sideboard math a little bit.
We are running 4 Cunning Wishes and 4 Living Wishes. I don't think we're sideboarding anything. I think all of those are wish targets.
Right. Can you elaborate on that for people who may not be familiar with those cards?
Cunning Wish lets you grab an instant from your sideboard and put it into your hand for 3 mana at instant speed. Living Wish gets a creature or land from your sideboard for 2 mana at sorcery speed. And it looks like there's just a bunch of pieces of things that are pieces of combos, pieces of disruption, pieces of protection. I don't believe there are any cards that go into the deck.
And there's some pretty saucy targets, such as Argothian Enchantress.
That is a bizarre one. I imagine. I guess there's some hands where
there's actually there are quite a bit of pretty good enchantments.
Yeah, we've got Nightmare, Dueling Grounds, Wild Research, Survival, Sterling Grove. I mean, yeah.
Yep. And Nightmare, of course, obviously just combos off on itself. Basically, you got Gaia's Cradle, you got Fling just to end it. Right when they send it. You got Intuition, Xanthid Swarm, Vorath Stronghold, Hachimachi. You got Stifle for the Dreadnought. So yeah, these probably all stay in the sideboard. Hey.
Yeah, I don't think we're looking at much. We even have an Intuition we can Cunning Wish for to go get 3 Battle of Wits.
That's right.
So basically,
and there's 1 Shallow Grave.
just in case. I mean, Shallow Grave is really good with Shapeshifter and
yeah,
amazing as we just saw.
It's also good if you do get charmed. If your alliance card somehow dies, you can still there's still a path. Although
Cunning Wish for the Fling too. I think that's part of the
like
Cunning Wish for the Fling, activate your Devourer and then fling it with the Sacrifice Trigger on the stack. That's what that's for. But
no, the other question is, would you want to sideboard a card out to put in 1 more target to search up?
It is possible. Yeah.
In other words, instead of but that's although on the other hand, for Survival of the Fittest, you're basically it's kind of a push, huh?
Yeah, I mean, there's Survival, there's Worldly Tutor, there's Tainted Pact. I think if I was a betting man, I bet Ryan does not touch his sideboard in any game, but
I like it.
I'm willing to eat my words. Let's take a look at the red-green Goblin sideboard because this was the concerning a concerning one
see.
before because we got a lot of hate. Survival would have been great in that game, or naturalize. I'm sorry for the
Naturalize.
survival.
Yep.
Pyroblast could have killed the shapeshifter with the trigger, the Palinchron trigger on the stack because it was still blue. Tormod's Crypt would have even done it there. I mean,
Yep.
I still don't think I bring in Crypts, but I certainly bring on the other 7 cards. What do you think?
Well, the question is always, what do you take out? So I guess we could ditch the Mog Fanatics.
I don't think I'd ditch the Fest. I mean, I would be if I was Mike, I would be very distraught by that turn 1 bird, and I probably would leave them in. It's probably correct to take them out though.
There was a turn 1
probably.
bird. That's true. Statistically speaking, 100% of these games have had a turn 1 bird in it. So I guess Mog Fanatic shines a little brighter. But what would you have him take out then? What do you like?
If I was playing that, I would probably be cutting 2 Hearth Charms, 3 Fanatics, a Prospector, and maybe 1 Siege Gang.
You cut the Hearth Charm even though the artifact creature combos off?
Yeah, like I said, it's hard to. That's really specific removal for a really specific combo in Ryan's deck, and I think the other cards that you're bringing in have more broad applications. Like I'd rather have a Pyroblast than a Hearth Charm in this matchup. I think.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, sounds good to me. Let's get to the match.
All right, looks like we're back here for game 2 of Ryan with Battle of Wits versus Mike with Red Green Goblins. I don't want to eat my words again, but I'm having a hard time imagining Ryan's going to have as good a start as that, and maybe this will light a fire under Mike, and make him. Well, you see the Battle of Wits. You know what he's playing as soon as he sits down and puts 300 cards in front of you, and maybe he looked at the opener and said, turn 2 Pile Driver, turn 3 War Chief is good enough, and it wasn't.
Yeah, well, on top of that, I mean, it is a little tricky to sideboard against in that the Battle of Wits deck does have a critical mass, quite a few critical masses, of threat density. It has a lot of different angles to jangle, if you feel me. And Goblins answers, for example, like the naturalizes could well be dead. There are definitely games where there's the other deck, the Battle of Wits deck, can just have a bunch of dope creatures that do interesting things, and you're just sitting on cards that aren't threats in your hand. So too the Red Elemental Blast and Pyroblast, like, and even Tormod's Crypt, actually, this all could be dead when you've got a Tradewind Rider, like, just Elves, Tradewind Rider, whatever, doing its thing. So it's a little, it provides some interesting questions. I'll say it like that. Okay, what do we got? It's can't exactly see. You can make a little bit bigger.
I think Ryan flashed his hand for a second, but I was not paying enough attention, so we get to we get to figure it out with everyone.
But I wonder if there's a way to make it a little bit bigger on our screen to full screen or something. Not sure how to do that. Let's see.
It's a little maximize.
Okay.
It looks like Mike Mulligan did not notice that either. It's going first. Okay. Mount and go. Okay. And this is where it gets scary. Like if you don't have a lackey, you're playing a fair game against a very unfair deck, and it looks like we have the turn 1 bird. Okay. Well. I mean,
oh my, that is bonkers. And he can't even waste.
Turn 2 Pile Driver. Okay, I mean, I might have just wastelanded it.
Oh my, Hachi Machi.
Here we go.
That's what they call the Boston Buck.
Worry.
Oh my. Oh no.
An Elder.
If there was ever an answer to come.
Well, now this is super weird because now you're just playing a War Chief into like a value dude.
Oh no. Oh
Not what I
no.
expected. I'm building Battle of Wits. This deck is excellent. This
This
deck is
is
obviously excellent. You just draw turn 1 bird every single game and win all of your matches.
And I believe I think it's hard to see on the screen, but I believe I saw Naturalize in Mike's deck. Okay, so he binks the land. Okay, although there
Oh,
is
double Wastelanded. He played a
double
Wasteland.
way. Oh my.
Got them both.
Well, and one thing to consider is he is rocking a Beta Mountain, which has no practical effect on the game, but does look dope. So I think that should be acknowledged.
Yes, excellent land choices.
Okay.
I didn't.
Oh
see
no,
that.
another bird!
That's. I mean, it's possible. Ryan just has all mana at this point.
Well,
Which is not the worst, but we've got to Yavimaya Elder kind of holding the fort and
not only
Mountain
holding the
Go.
fort, but it's going to be an ancestral recall. Ryan's going to get to draw 3 cards off of it, or just hold it back for the block if he wants. It does so much and asks so little. A 3-mana 2/1 off of turn 1 birds. Hachi Machi, where's the saucy? This is just out of control for Battle of Wits to be able to produce this sort of start twice, and not only that, but there was 2 birds in paradise this game. And to be fair, survival.
Yeah, we got Mountain Go from Mike, and then there's the survive. I mean, if he has a creature, I think this is.
Wow.
I don't know.
Well, and probably he was briefly considering attacking and then sacking to hit his land drop, right? We got to think that that's in the consideration.
He doesn't have the mana to sacrifice right now. It's
no, I'm saying that on his turn, instead of holding back,
I see.
Like sacking the Yavimaya to gain the extra land and hitting his land drops. But it sounds like it looks like he decided that having the body was too important. And it makes sense, right? Because if he goes a hasty tasty, he's down to Pain Town. So, is that a matron?
Yeah, it's a matron. The good thing for Ryan right now is he's not in a hurry. Like, he's got time. We've seen a pile driver and double wasteland, and there's no pressure. Right. There's no pressure for Ryan to do anything out of the ordinary. We can just ride the survival to victory.
No, it's right. It's quite the opposite. Mike is under pressure.
Yeah.
Mike is that survival represents the best threat in Ryan's deck, arguably.
Well, Battle Wits is pretty threatening, but yeah, I'd say the second best threat.
Right,
Battle Wits is a destroy me or lose the game. It's
that's true. That's true.
We've got a creature. There's an Acroma. Okay. Oh, he just. Okay.
Wow.
Okay. He just has the. So we're gonna untap.
This is gonna be a shapeshifter.
With a shapeshifter, that is an Acroma. That is protection.
Okay. Can you describe what Acroma does for our listeners?
Pretty much every keyword that was
it's
legal
not,
in
It's quite good against goblins.
Yeah, it does have
statistically speaking. Yeah.
Flying, vigilance, trample, lifelink, just, and unless we can put a card in Ryan's graveyard, we're in deep trouble if we're.
So we kind of saw there might be a Tormod's Crypt, I suppose, or oh no, wait, never mind.
There could be. He's gonna take 6 first, but we could. He could just have a crypt in his hand. I don't think he'd. Just not there. Maybe I would have played it into the survival, so he probably
just to keep him off of. Well, and the other side of it is
he can't find a shapeshifter.
Oh no!
No, there's just too many cards in his deck. No, it's just too many cards to look through. He got a Squee. Okay.
Oh, he got Squee. Okay, so Squee Goblin Nabob, which has at the beginning of upkeep trigger if it's in a graveyard. It's just one of the best card advantage. So she's gonna Squee. Okay, so this makes sense because the Acroma has haste, right?
Yes, but if he uses Squee to get it, his shapeshifter is gonna be a Squee.
Well, at this point, he doesn't even have to get shapeshift. At this point, he can just start getting Mana Wars or Guild. You just not Gilded Drake, but I guess you don't want Mana War here, Pro Blue, but you can just get a Bone Shredder or whatever. Like you just it's
start
pretty much
meddling. Okay.
Interesting.
We did see a matron. I didn't see what he got with the matron.
Well, whatever he got, he ain't getting it. That's what we know. Whatever it was, it ain't, cuz it is blue, so the pile driver can get around it. So if that 2/1 Yavimaya Elder goes away. Yep, tapping the right mana. It's good. Playing it, stopping. What do you think he got Probably not Siege Gang Commander, right?
No, it couldn't have been Siege Gang. It might have been a.
Oh, maybe it's the two. Maybe it's Ringleader, right?
It might
I
be
get
Ringleader.
here.
I would have. I feel like I would have gotten an Incinerator, but that doesn't make sense if Ryan went and got Meddling Mage. But
Right, because Meddling Mage doesn't actually stop and say, okay, Goblin Lackey, that's a 1/1 for one that is going to have a hard time getting around both of those creatures, but okay.
If he kept his Hearth Charm in, he could get it through next turn.
That's true. That's
Put a
true.
Siege Gang into play, start blowing things up.
Yeah, there is a path here. It's just getting smaller and smaller. The path narrows for Mike every turn, and Ryan has just got like tons of card advantage, tons of amazing options. Like
he did not activate Survival at the end of Mike's turn, which I feel like is pretty significant.
Oh, that's a good point. Although it's possible he's out of creatures in the hand.
Yeah, that might be why he got the Squee. It was his
right.
Achroma was his only creature. So let's see where Ryan goes with the Survival from here, because I have a hard time imagining we're going to keep a Squee.
Okay, discarding Squee for...
This is where the Jeopardy music plays while he searches his 500 card deck for this one of.
This has also got to be one of the most frustrating things to say, because usually when your opponent gets to look through their deck, like, oh, I could do this, could do that, tutor up whatever I want, but it's like that times 5 with this situation, or it's like, I could do pretty much anything I want. I could do whatever.
If I played physical Battle of Wits at a tournament, I would bring a big F6 button for my opponent. I'd hand it. Here you go. This is for you.
Oh, Shield one of the Sphere. Stars of the old Fruity Pebbles deck. Do you remember Fruity Pebbles?
I never got to play again. I've seen the deck a lot. I don't.
During renewal. Okay. So we've got a 0/6 that this is, I think it's also from Alliances, right?
Yes. Yeah, I believe it is.
It gets -1 counters. Back in the day, there used to be a lot of different types of counters.
Yeah. I think they're all on Frankenstein's monster, if I remember correctly.
That's right.
Makes 6 okay, there's a Shield Sphere, which is
pretty
much Goblin Lackey's worst nightmare.
Pretty
yeah, this is a good opening for Mike if he's got the Hearth Charm. We could see this Lackey get in.
Yeah. Okay, so gonna finally crack the stack and get 2 basic lands of his choice, probably 2 forests. We'll see, and then gets to draw a card after that.
If I have to admit, Ryan's got to have a Battle of Wits. Like, it looks like he's just playing like the surviving game, right? And there's the Incinerator.
Oh, did not take out the Meddling Mage. Fascinating. What do you make of that?
I think he's trying to keep him off 5 mana. I think, which is not going to work.
That's a bizarre line. I guess.
If he's got another Wasteland and another Incinerator, we could get him off blue at least.
Right. That's true. That's true. Although, well, although there are 4 Birds of Paradise and a Squee in the graveyard, so even best case scenario, there's still 2 blue. Like, it's gonna be but yes, you're right. That's maybe just delay.
Yeah, Ryan's choices with his Survival make me believe he's got a way to put a Battle of Wits in play, and I think Mike might understand that.
It's also possible he's just playing with his food. Now, if you bring a Battle of Wits table to a Premodern event, you're going to want to get as many reps in as you can and just, play all day. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, yeah, he might have a personal goal. It might be Ryan's personal goal to win at least 1 game in every match with Battle of Wits. So he's
exactly
choosing not to. He's mercy killing Mike.
That's right.
There's an Altar of Dementia, which is.
Here's a hint for any newer Magic players. Anytime you see Altar of Dementia hit the table, you best be, you're in trouble.
Nothing good is happening.
Yeah, that's right.
Nothing wholesome. It's all bad.
But again,
he left it in. Okay, I'll leave my words now. Slack is gonna get in.
Okay.
I don't know how much is gonna matter, but
okay. So we get the Goblin pile or the Siege Gang Commander. Yep, Siege Gang Commander. Okay. Siege Gang Commander gets Meddling Mage.
No, you got to kill the bird right now.
Oh, you're right. 4 mana. Yeah, you're right. Okay.
The problem is here. I think even if you kill the bird, Ryan still got a land and a survival in play, which means he can get the Squee back, activate it, get the Devourer, or get the
Right.
Shapeshifter and the Devourer, put it into play, and alter Mike out, I believe.
Unless he continues playing with his food and just wants to putz around for a while.
Really,
That
he
is
really wants it.
That's possible. It is definitely possible he could keep putzing. Plus, the other nice thing is Alter Dimension lets him sack the birds.
I
Doesn't
mean,
do anything, but
yeah, it doesn't.
it's just a nice little line there, just in case. Okay, didn't actually shoot it. For some reason, did not shoot the birds.
Ooh,
That is interesting. Waits till there's 5 mana of it. The upkeep, which maybe he realizes was a mistake and wants to do it now, but even if he did it now, the bird gets to tap for a green on the upkeep, but does not do it. Interesting. So there's the blue. Tinker!
Okay. Well, that's one way to do it. That's one way to... Oh, okay. Everything makes sense. You just had to tinker casually. No big deal.
This is so silly.
This Rube Goldberg machine just making it happen. Oh, man.
And unfortunately, the Goblin deck does not have unlimited library resources, so now he's able to do the thing with Alter Dementia and whatever that other card's called, and just rip, tip, and the tragic slip his opponent out of contention of this dimension. That was completely bonkers. I don't think anyone expected that to go that way, but that's the strength of Premodern.
That's why we play the games. That's
Exactly.
why we play the games. I don't know if it was on the recording, but I said there's no way. It was Andrew. Yeah, it's 2-0.
That's right. You said
games.
Yeah,
there's no way. There's no way this.
Yeah, for all the people watching this, we did not know ahead of time what none of this was. This is all, this is all live jive, and I had Battle of Wits just because, to me that's in my heart, but I didn't actually think it would win. But David had a different. He had different interpretation of the situation. But
Battle of Wits was not in my heart; it was in my gut. That wasn't good enough. But congrats to Ryan on the victory.
Yes, that was fantastic.
Hope you enjoyed the commentary from Team J Row and I. Thank you again to everyone, including Andrew, for putting this together. And
hell yeah,
we will see
you. And thanks for watching.
Yeah, absolutely. See you for round 2.
Bye.